The top 5 lessons of life I've learned as a 58-year-old divorced woman. Hi, I'm Leanne, and welcome to my channel, I Say This With Love 33. Today, I have a lot to talk about, and I'm going to give you my top 5 so that if you are in this space, perhaps it can help you. The intention of this channel is to help others put my story out there because we are all the same going through lessons in life, and I have just come out of a magnitude of lessons and I want to share it with you. So my number 1 lesson in life that I have learned, and I did write notes because I will get all like blah, 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 I want to say everything all at once. Don't lose yourself to create or maintain peace in any relationship. Be your authentic self. Now, this is kind of hard to do when you come together maybe with a significant other. And today I will talk about as a couple, as a marriage, as two people that are together. This can also be in families and in workplaces and amongst siblings and other people, but I'm just going to refer to it as couples because this is what I know. So when you lose yourself to the other person because you want to maintain peace, that's going to come back and backfire. I learned this lesson the hard way. I lost myself in the midst of trying to be the person that my significant other wanted. I always tried to be the best and the best cook and the best housewife and the best mom and the best wife, and always gave myself to others and lost who I was, when actually, in actuality, I didn't even really know who I was, to be honest, because I was so young when I came into this relationship. But when you lose yourself, it's not authentic. You need to be your authentic person, your own self, who you came to this earth to be, because it's gonna come back and knock on your door and you're going to start to feel it. You're going to begin to feel bitterness. You're going to feel hostility. You're going to feel that you give everything and they give nothing. And why is everything one-sided? When in actuality, we are the ones that created that. Now, I say this with love, and throughout this entire video, this is all said mindfully and with love. I lived this. This was my life for 40 years. So I feel if you're going through this, and I offer you love and compassion and peace, and I'm not downplaying anything, but I'm saying my truth, what I've learned, and the wisdom that I have attained throughout these life lessons. So always be yourself. Don't change who you are or lose who you are to keep the peace. Because if you have to do anything to keep the peace, it's not a relationship that's going to last anyways. And I know that might hurt, but trust me, it's not supposed to be. Not everything is made to last. We're here to learn lessons. So honor you and continue to be the person you are. Do the things you love. And if it ruffles somebody else's feathers, well, then maybe take some second guesses about your relationship and the dynamic, and even more so, go inward and do some self-reflection and ask yourself, well, why do I feel that I have to keep the peace and change who I am so that I won't upset them, or we'll just do everything they do so they don't get upset? These are some pretty deep questions that you can ask yourself, and I did not know this throughout my relationship. It wasn't until after the fact that I did a lot of deep inner healing and I learned all these things. But as I was in the space of healing and on that journey, I was able to go back and look and reflect on all the instances, all the lessons, all the things that I'm talking about today. And as clear as day, it's like, oh, I get it. Aha. I need to put this out into the world to help others, because I know there's a lot of you that are probably in the same situation that I was in, and there is hope, there is peace, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We just need to go inward and do a lot of self-reflection and ask questions and push into what we have co-created. Number 2, You don't have to prove your worth by how much you do, how much you give, or how much you sacrifice. This is rooted in trauma and deep into our subconscious. I was one that felt I had to prove my worth, and the only way I felt worthy is by how much I can do for you, how much can I give, how much can I sacrifice, what can I do? Just let me know. I'll do anything for anybody and everybody, not even in just my marriage, but all of the spaces around me, my work, my friends, the community, my kids' schools, because I didn't have worthiness within me. In a relationship, when you find yourself overgiving, overpleasing, overstepping boundaries that you're not intentionally trying to overstep, but you're a codependent and you're a people pleaser, and we think that we need to do it and take on everybody's issues or lessons that they need to learn, when in actuality we're overstepping our boundaries and we are depleting ourselves. You are worthy just by being here on this earth. Put your hand on your heart. If your heart is beating, you are worthy and you have nothing to prove. You just need to be you. Go within and find what lights you up, what expands your heart, what expands your life and makes you happy, because that's what you need to feel. And in a relationship, we really can go deep and lose that space, because as I did, I just wanted to make sure that everything's fine, everybody's fine, nobody's gonna feel any pain, nobody's gonna feel the trauma and all the hurt that I felt in my childhood. So I'm gonna take it on all for you. And that's a form of people pleasing. And I'm a recovered people pleaser. But just know, if you're in this space and you overgive and you people please and you're a codependent, you do not have to prove your worth to be here on this earth. And hindsight with me, I created that. So, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And by me not having any self-worth or self-confidence inside, unconsciously, I did not know that. I just felt like I was stoic and being the best, strongest wife that I could be. But deep inside, I was wounded, and it was reflecting in the outer world that I portrayed. So how would my spouse know that I'm a wounded little girl inside this adult body? Because technically he was also a wounded little boy inside an adult's body. So we weren't knowing yet, but I know now, that you don't have to earn your worth. And in childhood, something took place to where we felt that we had to be loved by doing stuff for others. And then we grow up and we take that into our space. And that is toxic and that is not healthy. And I know that now, and I didn't know that then. So here I am sharing with you. Number 3, it's okay. A matter of fact, it's essential to practice self-care. If you do not practice self-care because you're a mom, you have kids, you have a husband, you have animals, you have a job, you have a house, you have all the things that you need to take care of, and there's no time in the day ever to give yourself self-care, reevaluate that. Push into that. Go inward and really think about this, because when you are empty and depleted, there is no way on this beautiful earth we are on that you can pour love into anybody else's cup. Now, like me, for 40 years, actually my whole life, so it was the first 54 years of my life, I did everything for everybody. I didn't allow myself time to give myself what my body, what my soul was asking for. I just kept telling it to shut up, and I would push it down. And my feelings and my wants don't matter. It's everybody else. I have a husband and I have kids and I have pets and I have all the things. So everybody else comes before me. And that is gonna take you down. And you probably might be feeling this already if you're this woman, because as we give to everybody else and we don't allow ourselves to receive because we might have guilt, we might have shame. We have told ourselves the limitations. There's not enough time. I don't have any time in the day to take care of myself. Make time. This is going to help you because your physical body, your emotional body, your nervous system, every energy and element of you is screaming for self-care. And that looks different for everybody. Perhaps it might be just as a mom being able to go into the bathroom and lock the door for 5 minutes and have quiet time. Shut your eyes down and breathe. Maybe it's taking a warm bath. Maybe it's going to the spa and getting a facial once a month or once every other month. Maybe it's being able to go to the store alone. I don't know what it is. Everybody's life is different. For me, it was a matter of like if I even got a whim to like want to go to the spa and get a facial or a pedicure. I had so much guilt from taking time away from my family and spending it on me. And that portrayed out of me. So then my ex-husband would like be like, yeah, like you're selfish. You shouldn't be doing that. Like you have things to do. Like, did you do all your chores and get all your stuff done before you went and took care of yourself? I had so much animosity and shame and grief and fear built up within me that I couldn't enjoy it. But I do remember specifically like a couple times out of my 40 years with my ex-husband, I would go to the day spa with friends or for a bachelorette party or something. And as I was laying there in the chair, I'm like, oh man, this feels so good. Like I could really get used to this. And I could just feel like my whole nervous system and my body just start to soften. And then as the hours went by and it started to be getting closer to like leaving and going home, I would start to feel like that nervous, like, oh my God, I gotta hurry. I gotta get home. I gotta cook dinner. I gotta do all the things. I gotta do the laundry. I gotta feed the animals. I gotta take my kids to here and there and there and there. And so basically like that whole day of loving myself and giving myself self-care just went like poof, because I was not able to hold on to that peace and allow myself to be like, yeah, you take in this time, you relax, you do everything, you work for me. And I'm speaking to my body and my emotional body, my mind and my soul. And then it's okay to go home because you just filled your cup and now you have something to pour into everybody else's. And I learned this the hard way. There is no way on this earth that you can pour from an empty cup. And throughout my life with my family and being married, I thought I was pouring into everybody's cups 24/7, and I thought I knew unconditional love. But now, hindsight and learning what I've learned and gone through the path of healing that I've gone through, I was like, oh my gosh, I was so depleted. I was so empty. And that has been able to be turned around, and I want to share with you. Push into that. Look within. Fill your cup. It's not selfish. It's okay. It's essential that you give you, yourself, your own sovereign individual self, some time each day to take care of yourself and to allow yourself what your soul is calling for. Number 4, and this is a hard one, and this took a long time for me to learn and to even digest, and I say this with love. We are not victims. We are creators. We are not a victim in our circumstances. If we have a shitty marriage, a shitty relationship, if things are toxic, if the household is not healthy, we are not the victim within that. And I lived in this space for a lot of years. And I pointed my fingers and you this and you that and you said this and you did that and you don't treat me right. And whoa, let me say this again with love. You are not a victim, you are a creator. And if you're in a relationship and it's not healthy and it might have been turning toxic for a while and now it really is, things usually just don't start out super toxic. They kind of just gradually get to that space. Know this and think about this. Feel what I'm going to say. You are the co-creator of your life. When you and your energy met and called in the energy of your significant other, you were both probably in wounded states. unknowingly. Now, this is all energetically and unconscious, because you see somebody or you meet somebody and you're like, ooh, like they're so cute, or you're falling in love and it's just like, oh, and everything's so beautiful and special and you're just so in love and you will do anything for this person. But just know that your energies and their energies connected with each other and they came together from a wounded state. Now, in my space, I was an empath and I had a lot of wounds. I was a people pleaser. I had a lot of lessons in this life to learn. I was a people pleaser. I was a codependent. I had abandonment issues. I had lots of things that I had within me that I didn't know, but they came out as everybody on this earth. And their things that they have inside, their sediment, their traumas, their fears, their whole life that they have spent covering up and putting on a mask to portray that everything's great and they're perfectly fine, and then those doors get closed and then all the shit comes out, or you go in your room and you close your door and you cry and you don't know why you're depressed and all the things. I'm telling you, you are the co-creator and you called this all in to learn lessons. This is something that I didn't believe in or even know about before I kind of had an awakening and then began to start on my journey of healing. And in the spiritual world, we are all one. And I truly believe this and I feel this and I know this. And we came to this earth to learn lessons. Now, in my case, I was the empath. My ex was the narcissist. And I called him in to teach me life lessons. And I can say with love and full respect and 2 thumbs up, he passed those lessons with flying colors, A+. Like he pushed me to the limits of me and my edges of no boundaries, of allowing people to speak to me the way they do, of not having any kind of love for myself or the ability to say no, or respect for myself or self-confidence. He knew every lesson that he had to do in this lifetime to teach me beautifully. And when that took place, before I knew that these were all lessons, and I was such a victim, and I was like, oh, I can't believe my husband's such an asshole and all these things. And trust me, go inward, self-reflect, go into your wounds, your inner child wounds, your generational trauma wounds, and do some healing. Last one, number 5, and this is tough for a lot of us. And even though we don't think we are this type of person, we probably are. Release control and expectations. Allow nature to take its course. Let go of anything that no longer aligns with you. Now, for me, this was a brutal lesson. And it even kind of chokes me up now thinking about it, because we become so attached to what we have created and the expectation of what we want in life. And this is the way it has to be. This is the way it's done for generations. This is the way I'm going to have it. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Well, that's how I was for the first 54 years of my life. I didn't think I was a controlling person, and I didn't think I had expectations. But hindsight, I now know that I did. And my expectations were, I'm gonna, graduate high school, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have a family, I'm gonna be a mom, and I'm gonna take care of my family, and then my kids are gonna grow up, and then they're gonna live close to me, and then they're gonna come back to the family home with their husbands and wives and their kids, and every Sunday we're gonna have big family dinners, and we're all gonna be close and live this beautiful life, because family is everything to me. And when my world got rocked and the universe started to shake things out of my life that were no longer in alignment with me, that control and those expectations had to go out the door. And I didn't know why. And I didn't know why until deep into my journey, probably a year and a half from the beginning of my journey of healing and understanding that I was not happy in my marriage, and I'm gonna grow my balls and step away from my marriage. in order to save myself because I was dying. I knew I was dead inside. And all these 5 lessons that I'm telling you about and talking about all just are just a piece of the puzzle. And there's so many more puzzle pieces and lessons that I've learned, but I can't take up all that time in this video, but I'll probably make another video because there's so many things and so many aha moments. But to be able to, when I learned to release the expectations that I had of life and allow nature to just flow instead of control, and going through the process of separation and the magnitude of dissolving what I had co-created for 40 years, that was huge. That's a magnitude of like enormous proportion. So I had to realize and learn, you know, I'm just going to throw my hands up because I'm so miserable. I'm at my rock bottom. My body's physically giving out. I'm dying inside. My soul is screaming at me. And I need to step away from my relationship, my marriage, the family unit that I created. And thankfully, my kids were adults at the time, but I still had that tremendous guilt and shame and fear and worry about how are they going to handle divorced parents, because I grew up like that. So I didn't want to do what my parents did, as many of us do that. We never want to be our parents, but let me just say, you're more like your parents than you realize and you want to be. But if you can learn from the positive lessons throughout your life with your parents and put that into your family. But anyways, when I learned to just release and just flow with life and what God, source, universe, whatever you believe in is gonna hand to me, it's got to be better than what I have been in and what I have allowed myself to create anymore. Now, at that point, I didn't know these were lessons that I was learning. I was still a victim and I was wounded and I was like trying to be like, you know, a little seed that was planted and starting to like get some sunshine and water and love and start to flourish. And that took me 4 years to get to that space. But these 5 lessons that I have told you, they're not going to happen overnight. And you might not feel these. You might be like, I don't know what she's talking about. But honestly, give us a listen. Go within, do some self-reflection, be open-minded. When you can release the control over things and think about little things in your life, you know, or somebody you might have known that like wanted to have kids, or you, and like, okay, we're going to have a baby and we're going to do it this and this and this, and we're going to have a baby by then. And you're trying so hard and you've got such a grip on what you expect. And then it never happens, right? That happened with me. I wanted to have a baby when I was 21 and I tried and I tried and I tried and it never happened. Finally, I'm like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And then I got pregnant. And I have so many friends that have that same thing. So when you have such a tight grip of control and it's got to be this way, you're pushing it away. You're telling the universe, nope, like it's not, you know, it's just not going to be. And I know that sounds a little weird and a little woo-woo, but trust me, throw your hands down, surrender to God, source, universe, what your belief is, and you will see things happen. And they might not happen in the way that you expect them to happen, but again, release the expectation, because what does take place is supposed to happen. Everything happens in divine timing and divinely how it is supposed to happen. So I thought I was going to be married forever and have my happy family and my kids and my grandkids come to my house, to my beautiful home for my whole life. And you know what? That was not supposed to happen. And it took me a long time to accept that. And I have accepted that. And now I know it and I believe it and I see it and I feel it. And in order for me to reach the space that I'm in and come out and open my throat chakra and help you and humanity, I had to go through the darkness. I chose lessons to go through dark, hard lessons to get to the light so I can turn around and turn my pain into purpose. So these 5 lessons, don't lose yourself to create or maintain peace in any relationship or situation. You don't have to prove your worth. You are worthy just with your heart beating and your breath. It's okay to practice self-care. It's essential to practice self-care. Love you, honor you. You're not a victim. You are a creator. And release control and expectations. I hope this has helped you in some way. This is such a passion of mine to help others. I see so many of my friends and acquaintances going through these situations and these hard times in their relationships and the dynamics. And I'm just like, oh, like, shit, man, I've been there. I've done that. I can't tell you what to do, but I can plant seeds and share with you what I did and what helped me to hopefully be able to help you to find love for yourself. Okay? Thank you for listening. I do say all this with love. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share it with friends, anybody you know going through these difficult times. I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Namaste.